Chris Watts had the life everyone believed he wanted. On the surface, a smiling wife, two vibrant young daughters, another child on the way, a home in Frederick, Colorado, 2.5 years married, and a career in the oil fields. But beneath the surface, something was rotten. The facade of the perfect family was a lie, one that would end in a way neither friends, neighbors, nor his own wife could have imagined. It was early August 2018. His wife, Shanann Watts, 34, returned from a business trip. Their daughters, Bella, 4, and Celeste, Cece, 3, were with her. Shanann was 15 weeks pregnant with their son. That day she laughed, she hugged, she posted photos of their growing family. She told friends, "These are my best days." By the next morning, everything had changed. On the morning of August 13th, a neighbor noticed Shanann's car still in the garage, the car seats untouched, the home eerily quiet. Shanann's phone lay between cushions on the couch. Her wedding ring sat on the bedside table. The children's toys still littered the living room. Her purse and keys were in the house. The wedding photos are still on the wall. It looked like they just stepped out for a moment, but they never came back. Chris appeared on camera later that day. Amid flashing lights and reporters, he maintained the role. Loving husband, worried father. He begged for help. He said he had no idea where his family had gone, but investigators found footprints in the oil field where Chris worked, his truck seen on surveillance backing into a bay late at night. They found his phone unpinged for hours, his security deposit trail spun thin, and they found an affair. The woman he was speaking to behind his wife's back wasn't just a friend. That lie, the lie of the smiling dad, is what made this case so chilling. Chris had built a front, and in that front he believed he could enact escape. Escape from debts, from a marriage he claimed he no longer loved, from the burdens of fatherhood. He told police he felt trapped. He told his mistress he needed freedom, but freedom wouldn't come through divorce, not for him. Because when Shanann asked for the truth, asked to separate with dignity, Chris chose terror instead. On the evening of August 13, the same day Shanann and the girls vanished, Chris drove his truck to the oil field site. There he buried Shanann in a shallow grave and placed Bella and Celeste into oil storage tanks on the worksite. For 48 hours, the world believed he was a bereaved husband. The family had vanished, neighbors cried, candlelights glowed. But inside those hours, Chris was not looking for his family. He was looking for a way out of them. Eventually, facing a polygraph he failed, he confessed. On August 15th, 2018, Chris admitted what he had done. He said Shanann had killed the girls. Then he said he had killed Shanann in rage. Then he said he had planned it. In reality, he had wanted the perfect escape, the perfect cover, the perfect lie. During his confession, he said something haunting. "I didn't want to do this, but I did it." What he didn't say, why. Prosecutors later said the motive was clear: a desire for a fresh start, a new life with his mistress, buried debts, a crumbling marriage, whilst children laughed in the next room. None of this answers the question of why, the district attorney said. If he wanted a new start, get a divorce. You don't annihilate your family and throw them away like garbage. Chris pled guilty on November 6, 2018. He walked into court, accepted responsibility. A plea deal spared him the death penalty. On November 19th, he was sentenced to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus 48 years for the unlawful termination of Shanann's pregnancy, and 36 years for tampering with the bodies. Today, he sits in a maximum security prison in Wisconsin, removed from the state, removed from the world he once lied to so convincingly. He has no chance of freedom, no chance of redemption in the eyes of the sentence. But what remains is the question: how did a smiling father become one of the most infamous family annihilators of modern American history? The answer lies in the darkness of manipulation. Chris's charm was his mask. His promises of "we'll grow old together" were false. His social media posts were theater. Behind closed doors, Shanann worried. Friends noticed her fear. She asked if Chris could be cheating. She sensed something was wrong. In the testimony, the mistress, Nicole Kessinger, said she believed she was entering a breakup. She believed he was alone. She had no idea he still had a wife and children. That lie enveloped her too. The web of deceit reached outward. This story is not simply about murders. It is about the collapse of trust. It is about the quickest of transformations. Father to killer, husband to liar. The two girls who laughed, played, counted carrots in their garden before bedtime. The pregnant mother who trimmed the leaves, took vitamins, waited for the baby. Gone. And for what? So the man who promised them forever could seek out freedom alone. Investigators looked at the oil field site. They scoured recordings, body cams, cell pings, neighbors' photos of a truck backing into the bay, a sniff of gasoline, a dog left within the home, a computer trail. Nothing about that morning screamed accident. Nothing about those hours looked like the perfect husband reunited. It looked like planning, disposal, the distortion of fatherhood into finality. Shanann's family looked at the media cameras with grief, disbelief, fury. They wondered how he could smile on screen, begging for his wife's return. While weeks earlier, he'd promised his mistress they could move in once the house sold. "Tell me one thing he did to make her happy in the last year," Shanann's father asked. No answer came. In the end, the mask cracked. Police officers sat with his father. Hide in plain sight no more. They listened as Chris revealed location after location. They dug graves, they hollowed tanks, they traced footsteps. Every lie dismantled bit by bit in their interrogation. Then the world watched. A father admitted he strangled his wife in front of their children. He suffocated his daughters under blankets. The oil field swallowed evidence. The machine he relied on betrayed him. Even now, years later, the echoes of that day ring out. Friends of the girls set up memorials, schoolrooms renamed windows. The hashtag #ShanannonGirls reminds us the victims weren't just names. They were life. The media turned the case into documentaries, true crime specials, and yet the pain for the family remains raw, still fresh. Think about every smiling dad photo you've scrolled past. Think about every family fun day Instagram. What you see might not be real. What you see might hide brokenness, fear, deception. Chris Watts looked like many of us. He sounded like many of us. He lied to all of us. For Shanann, for Bella, for Cece. The future they were promised died before it began. For the children who trusted their father to bring them back home, they were never brought back. And for the wife who held a newborn baby in her heart, the baby never took a breath. I'm Mason, and this was Chris Watts, the Colorado family murderer, a man who promised a forever and ended lives instead. Subscribe and stay aware, because every face hides a story, and some hide murder.